of this, or
This is something that,
as mentioned, the quote unquote value that it provides to the customer.
And you know what? Mark Burris was part of the segment yesterday, the seminar, and he was one of the key speakers. And he used a really good reference, was the coffee shops. You know, like coffee shop A didn't open until 7:30 or whatever he said, right? And the guy was there saying, "Oh, look, mate, I know you're here, and it's like 7:25 or something. But we don't open until 7:30." And all right, so we went across to the other coffee shop, and they said, "Look, we don't open till 7:30 as well, but sit down, just wait till 7:30, and we'll give you the coffee." Like, you know, he was talking about the value that provided, the fact that not consumer, the person with that business, we'll just call it, was on the other side of the fence. They were thinking like they're on the other side of the fence. So they were thinking as a consumer and going, okay, let's. If I was in this coffee shop and I got told I can't have a coffee, at least if someone said, "Here, sit down, relax though, take 5 minutes, and your coffee will be out shortly," then you'd be like, it's a lot more welcoming. You know what I mean? And he was giving that comparison, and used that across the board for business and life in general. Like at the end of the day, the whole speech that Mark was doing within an hour, he was just getting people to understand that it's hard work plus having a purpose behind your brand, whether that be your own personal brand, whether that be a business or like a monetary purpose, you know, that you're trying to make, have something behind it that means something, so that the consumer can relate. And
I've got a good question for you, just almost to test your social skills. And that, how do you convey that to someone on social media? So what you just said, then, how do you convey that to someone on social media? Because I've got an answer, but it's something that's I guarantee there's people out there right now going, how do you convey that onto social? Because I guarantee you that they might have a business, they're already doing that. How do I tell people?
Well, Zara's got it written down here. Gary V gives value, and then ask for business. So how would you put that in a social perspective? Is this what you're asking? Like,
yeah.
What would you do? Yeah. Well, what would we do? We give out, you know, statistics and a measured amount of information that is beneficial to the client, because everyone wants to know what's going on, because there's 1,000,001 other people doing what we're doing, and everyone wants this information. But, you know, it's because of social media, it's so cluttered. So let's just get your point out there of essentially what your purpose is, and the statistics will all be the same, whether it's us or the guy next to us or the other guy next to us. The stats are still the same. They're no different. But it's what we offer. What is our purpose? So the Luxland purpose, for example, I'm just going to use Luxland as an example, is that we do what we do for finding clients' properties because we love helping them. We want to see them succeed. It's not about like lining our pockets.
It's almost for their children, not for them.
That's right. It's for the legacy. This is why Zara has started this business. You know, it's because it's for that long-term legacy. Because that's what he wants to do with himself, right? So then we apply that into other people's lives and go, join the ride with us. You know what I mean? Like, and if you can't do it because you're doing something else that's not even related to property, then let us help you do that. You know what I mean? There's a purpose behind it, and that's to help someone. Not so much to make the money. It's to educate first, you know, and that's how I think anyway.
And a beautiful way to do that on social is just handing out like little information bites onto stuff, or as Gary V says, the jab, right?
Yeah.
If you have any business, just put out consistent. I'm not going to say constant, consistent content that's going to be giving out little bit of informational pieces that sort of makes that consumer remember you for that. So if they learn something off that for free, they're going to remember that, and you're going to automatically be on their mind when something about that comes up too. So I think that's great. But I kind of want to touch on that too. With all the social stuff too, actually, obviously people are going to start wondering how to grow your following and all to the stuff as well, right? I think the value proposition of that is a huge aspect of that. So informational pieces. I know a lot of the people in the sports and nutrition industry, like I think one of the biggest ways that your average girl used to get their stuff up was just showing their ass and all sort of stuff too, you know what I mean? One of the biggest examples that I'll use here is Massive Joe's, an online retail store in the sports and nutrition industry. Initially started in his garage at home. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong there, but I know it was a small space, and it was just in his house with an online store, reviewing products on video and putting them on YouTube. Now he's got, I think, 7 stores and one of the biggest online retailers almost in the world for sports nutrition, purely based off of video content. And it was purely just handing out free information at the same time too, saying, this is the information on the product. you can buy it from my store if you're interested in it. That's about it. But people learning about the actual people learning about the scientific basis of each product and ingredient at the same time too. So they're actually going to be walking away going, fuck, that's why beta-alanine makes the lactic acid build up go away, and I don't have that burn when I'm training, all sort of stuff too. Thank you, Joe. You know what I mean? So that's a huge thing, and that goes to show what handing out little bits of information can actually give your business over time. And I think it's the element of delayed gratification there, because you're looking at 9 years since he's been around, but now he's an absolute fucking powerhouse.
He's done really well, hasn't he?
He's a powerhouse. You know what I mean? It might have taken 9 years, but he's just given out little information bites that have given back to him now. You know what I mean? So
I think it's about everyone who's listening to this is obviously, well, a lot of people don't own businesses. I think a lot of people will be listening to this more for personal development and personal branding for social media. And I think it's about everybody. I believe everybody is an expert in something.
Oh, they are 100%.
And
100%.
What they should be doing is putting content out there on their area of expertise.
And the passion that within it.
Yeah, so where Mark was going with that thinking about being in the consumer's shoes, I think what people need to realise is that don't just be a lurker on social media and just, go in and look at photos and put a comment there every 7 weeks, get in there, start producing content. Everyone's an expert on something. Put stuff out there, write articles, put a video out there, or even share other people's stuff, right? And engage with others. Engage with others, because it's not about, putting a photo up, getting all of these comments and likes, and not engaging with your followers. Because if you walk down the street and someone says, "Oh, Mark, that's a nice tie," you don't ignore them and just go, and just walk the other way. You say, "Thank you," How are you? Hope you're well. So engage with your followers, produce content based on your area of expertise, and that's building a personal brand. It's
100%.
pretty simple.
Yep. And also, if I was actually chatting to a good friend about this, she's a teacher, and I feel like even a teacher, anyone in their own job and all sort of stuff, if you were to actually go and build a personal brand about that, or just like you and myself both do it, and Mark started as well, writing articles or just information bites about that specific area as well, and becoming an authority figure and
having an opinion.
Having an opinion at the same time too. But getting back to this example of my friend as a teacher, she's fucking amazing. She's probably one of the smartest people, and actually has so much drive and passion for the kids at the same time too that she's teaching as well. And I said, why don't you just fucking start writing articles on the benefits of this part of education, all to staff and blah blah blah, and start putting out information bites and sort of become an authority figure in that space. And she did, and she's doing really fucking well now. You know what I mean? And it was purely based off just starting to put information out there. You know what I mean? And that's a little bit of a success story within itself, purely based on the fact. And I'm not talking fucking millions of dollars on this stuff, but
But it's better than nothing.
Exactly right. Right. And but it's a start. You know what I mean? And then you can
and it can compound.
Correct. And you can scale and you can do this and all sort of stuff.
That's fantastic.
Well. It's fucking unreal. Another way for I think this is especially for social, but I think this is with any marketing, is linking up with like-minded people. Like we're doing right now, we're doing a podcast with 3 different people that have 3 of their own brands and 3 personal brands as well. Linking up with other people who are on the same mission as you can make a massive impact on the social output that you have, which actually obviously will increase your personal brand and the businesses that you work in as well. So I thank you guys for doing this with me, because it really helps us put more value out there to everyone else, because we all promote it later on too.
Well, we drive each other because we're in that environment of loving creating content, educating people, and also entertaining people. Like we enjoy entertaining people.
It's funny. I hear people when I do get comments on this stuff. I tell people, go, "Fuck, you guys are funny."
I think where people go wrong though with social media is that they consume the wrong stuff and they follow the wrong people.
I agree.
The social media, or our smartphones and the internet, are the new TV.
Yeah.
Right. So I know a lot of people. I don't know many of them, but people that go home, they watch really bad TV and they watch rubbish. Right.
Yeah.
And I was never really encouraged to watch rubbish when I was a kid. When in front of the TV, all of those stupid shows that were on prime time and all of that sort of stuff. So it's the same thing with social media. If you're feeding yourself with dumb shit, then you are going to become dumb. 100%. But if you consume really good stuff on self-improvement, personal development, things that are going to further enhance your skills in whatever that you're doing, then you're going to get better in life.
Of course.
And it's really important what you feed your brain, because it becomes a constant thing, and it can become a habit, a good habit or a bad habit, and it's up to you whether to choose.
I've got a really good quote on that too. You know, there's always the saying when it comes to food: you are what you eat. You are what you eat. When you're talking about education, you are what you read.
Yeah.
That's right.
You are what you read.
You are.
You know what
You
I mean?
are.
So, and you become what you read at the same time too. So this is another point of the social aspect as well. So you never know whose life you're going to change with the stuff that you're actually posting too. You know what I mean? So when we started in this podcast, and when I started putting out a lot of personal content for my own personal brand, I had fucking so many people contacting me about saying like, you don't know how much you've helped me today. I'm like, well, wow, like this is why I have to keep doing this, because people are getting benefit from it regardless. Regardless of if it's a business aspect or if it's just a personal development aspect, like people are going, fuck, like thank you so much for putting this stuff out there. So that's not to say that you can't do that, and that'll help you with your own personal, you know, your empire later on. You know what I mean? So and your legacy. I think it's such a big aspect that gets overlooked sometimes.
I think people resonate with it well, especially with the stuff that we do, Chris, is because basically the School of Struggle is about adversity, right?
Correct.
And it's about pushing through the struggles of life and
Correct.
business. And where there's entertainment, you've got to think about movies, for example. Every movie there's a bad guy and there's some sort of like duel or some sort of villain, right? Where there's some sort of adversity that the good guys have to go through to have a happy ending. And it's the same with sort of our story on social media. There are those pain points and the adversities that kind of make our stories interesting. And people can resonate with that. And there are so many social media influencers out there that just post the highlight reel. And it's just all about, you know, them having big muscles and, you know, being girls at the nightclub with the girls and popping bottles and all of that shit, right? Where I think things are heading more into a raw, transparent era where we need to showcase the bad shit.
Show the hard stuff to show that you're human too.
That's right. So when I did, a couple of years ago, I did my transformation, right? And, you know, I put up a photo of myself in the before shot. This is before I actually got to the end of the transformation. I actually held myself accountable as well, because I put myself out there. But it was a raw shot, which I wasn't happy with my body shape and all of that sort of thing. I was unhealthy. And then at the end of the 3 or 4 months, I put the good photo up, and then people could see, wow, it's possible. You know what I mean? It's not just putting the good photo up. It's putting the bad photo up first before you even get to the good photo. So that's what the School of Struggle is about. It's about discussing the struggles of business and life first, so that when we do get to that end point, it's much more sweeter. And it resonates with so many other people.
100%. And I think that sort of comes down to, because there are struggles with social media and all that stuff too. I think this is
So I'm struggling. I've got like 500 followers.
So if anyone's listening and you haven't followed,
follow me,
Zai,
please.
It's ZAH_AZMI. But it's social media comes with the positives and negatives, but it's all about how you look at it too. You know what I mean? So there are
It's like a loaded gun.
Well, it is, and it's where because regardless, you're going to shoot. Where's it going though too? Because some people can look at social media and get really down too, because they see other people doing well and they go, "Fuck, I can never be that good." Again, fuck that. You can. You just have to put yourself out there. That's the only thing.
Everyone has an interesting story.
They do. Yeah.
Everyone does. I do not know a person in the world that doesn't have something to fucking tell someone else that can help someone or show why that they are amazing too. You know what I mean? And I just feel that anyone that doesn't is almost silly. And one of the biggest things here that I need to put out there is get on board with it, or literally get left behind, especially in business too. You know what I mean?
Well, getting back to the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, you know, a lot of them are against adapting to change.
Yeah.
And
100%.
They just refuse to learn. Like these guys are in their 40s and their 50s, and you know, for example, like we deal with real estate agents quite often, and you know, there are so many traditional real estate agents out there who are still relying on print media, billboards and all of that sort of stuff. And it might work in their certain markets, but eventually all of that stuff is just... Because the thing is, millennials are the new generation who are going to be leading our country. They're the ones that are going to be buying the houses. They're the ones that we're going to be doing business with in the future. Once all the Gen X